Okay, I sat and I watched. His name's Dwayne, right? The one y'all kept feeding me, and I don't care what the truth is. And I sat there and I said, it's not like at first I thought it was like watching a train wreck. I'm gonna go watch this, right? And then they had the red carpet gala folk, eBay. That's it, eBay, and John Cena's car thing. Is it Hyundai or whatever? Sponsoring the video, right? And I'm like, wow, I ain't got no sponsors. I don't get money for these posts. I've been threatened by the CIA, poisoned by the military, had my kids taken, I get locked up, yeah, I, everything I posted online, I turned down $350,000 a year and some land in the Gila from the military because I wouldn't join the Temple Set Illuminati when I commanded them to obey me. And then after that, I turned down $2 million a month from the Temple Set Illuminati before they banned me on Facebook, right? So, so, and me and that one kid talked about it at Walmart the other day. I was like, I don't know anybody else in the world, okay, that has had that situation. I've never met or heard of anybody that got offered $2 million a month on Simple Set Illuminati. He turned it down, and then they kicked him off Facebook. I don't know anybody else like that. That's like Muhammad in the Quran. Okay, that's like Jesus when they took to go see Pilate after Herod. Well, if you're their true father and their true king, take your place. I can't because you will not accept our faith in God, and you'll come and kill all my people because I'm their true king. So I'm going to offer you me and a chance to accept or reject the truth because you are Rome, is what Jesus tells Pilate, right? Yeah, I know. Doesn't that make you like that goosey's right? Yeah, same thing I did with the people here, right? No, I'm not going to take your money from the Temple Set Illuminati. I'm not going to join Antoine LaVey and Michael Aquino and denounce all these religious people that are hypocrites. Okay. I know Constantine and Jerome wrote the Bible. I know the Romans killed Jesus with their perception of law. I know that book was written down by the people that murdered my father Jesus. Okay. And that was what was cool about Dwayne right there. I was that way when I was a kid too. The Mormon church was. I watch cartoons, talk with mom about things, watch TV shows, Dracula shows. That's creepy, scary. It's not true, Earl. That's not real. Oh, cartoons aren't real, right? So when they would tell me stories in church that were based on cartoons, I would go, that's not what happened. That's not real. Okay. And everything they told me in the Gospels that was real, okay, I believed it. Everything they told me that was not, it was like Grimm's fairy tale. There's a moral in that story. There's a moral in the story from a guy who knows I'm in love and my love still grows. Hey, keep away from running around Sue, right? So I was like, nah, and I was always accusing the Mormon church of being immoral and a bad kid. Okay. And then when we left, because I was the most surveyed human being in the history of the world because of my life story being in the book of Revelation, they had all these things. And that was one thing I got with a lot of them about my dad and his sex life and things like that the Mormons judged and manipulated and all that. You try being a really attractive, good jock, okay? And try getting through your marriage life and your sex life with Spencer J. Kimball and Gordon B. Hinckley and Russell Nelson and Monson's sorry ass in your bedroom all the time, judging you and manipulating your family with money and abuse of money through technology, manipulation through surveillance abuse. Okay. It's real hard to have a good sexual relationship with women if you can't have a relationship based on a holy covenant without debt and trespass from the devil and Satan in your bedroom. Right? All right, so you got to understand this. All right. So David Rockefeller, you get all these people, well, he was the devil's advocate. No, he was wrong. Okay. Kimball was wrong. The Vatican's wrong. Okay. It is wrong to see people's lives and understand how the science works and that this is the guy talking to this guy here. We can trace the signals and see what they can do was with radio signals before they even had Wi-Fi. Okay. They could sit there and trace the radio signals like a movie Frequency with Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid, right? And they can see all these prayers going to this one man in ancient Judea. All these signals. Okay. Like on Cerebro, like on the cartoon comic book things, right? And then most of those prayers aren't hitting home. They trace them and they find out. Okay. They go, where's this one coming from? And then they go study that house. CIA and FBI, well, he's listening to this little girl who's asking for help. Her stepdad's sexually abusing her. Okay. She needs help. Okay. So Jesus sits there and another person, how can I help you, Lord? There's a little girl in your congregation, her stepdaughter's sexually abusing her. Okay. I need you to go and investigate. Okay. The Lord said to me, honey, that this man's doing this to this little girl, and I can't take the law in my own hands, so I have to go and have the little girl come up and I prayed to Jesus, and he sent you to me to save me, right? And that kind of stuff. Good God, Dwayne, you and your wife are about to make me cry. Darn VeggieTailers. Lord, send us a sign and show us this man is true. And oh, honey, thank you. I was really cute about the VeggieTales. I like VeggieTales too. My son Patrick and his homosexual cousin Corey, their favorite is Bungee. If you let it get them. Madam Blueberry, that's their favorite. They also like Scooching El Pepino. The tomato is jealous of the cucumber. I can dance. How was that my uncle's bar mitzvah? I love those. I swear those kids watched too much Monty Python in college and then kyped most of it for those VeggieTales anywhere, because Dave and the Diet Wall is just like the Holy Grail from Monty Python. Made me laugh. I'm like, y'all watched Monty Python when you was in college and then you got saved and shit. Yes, I say bad words. Well, people do bad things. Okay. And I had an Irish grandfather that was conceived out of wedlock, and an Irishman married him. And my grandfather's mostly British, and the Irishman taught him to hate himself more than he hated his life. So my grandpa left when he was 14 to join the circus. The circus was so miserable. He lied and got into the army. He was in the Pancho Villa campaign, and lots of horrible things happened to him. And he said God was just a evil kid up in the sky that made us all flies and ripped our wings off and watched us through a magnifying glass and laughed at us. And he was a sick bastard, and he had no use for him, because he had to sit and kill poor Catholic Mexicans for a bunch of rich Protestant English bastards that called themselves the righteous and holy Americans. Okay, just my grandpa in a nutshell. And shit is shit, and don't give me shit on a plate and call it steak and ask me for $5, damn ya. Oh, you daft motherfucker. And an ignorant man who cusses is too damn stupid to know what else to say. Of course, he declared himself ignorant because he was a murderer for the government. He killed more people in the U.S. military probably than anybody else in the history of the U.S. military. He served in the Pancho Villa campaign, World War I, World War II, and then advisory in Korea. Okay? That man was a part of the mass murder of more people probably than just about anybody, because he was infantry. Okay? My grandfather, much to the chagrin of the Vatican and the Quorum of the 12. This man is supposed to be like King David from the Bible, his stories in the Bible, and that's his grandpa? Yeah. Somebody's got to save Philip Sheridan Murphy from you all. My other grandpa was from Tennessee, came from a drunk family from a bunch of outlaws that were moonshiners, got put in the military because he got in trouble with the law and got told you either, well, no, that was Grandpa Mac. That was his dad. He got put in the World War I, World War II. But I come from a family of moonshining outlaws on my dad's side out of Tennessee. Okay? Good for nothing? No, they were really good at talking their best friends' wives out of their panties and screwing up all their friendships because they were too charming for their own pants. Okay? Both Grandpa Mac, he was called Grandpa Mac because he got in trouble in Tennessee and had to go to Texas and change his name to McMullen. I said, Dad, what is it? Are we McMullins or are we Parsons? We're Parsons, but McMullen is our alias. I'm like, damn. Okay, Earl. So you get all these people. There's no way in hell that this guy can be the guy that's the source of the book of Revelation. That's true, man. Old Jesus and David's and Ruth's line, no rotters in there at all. Saul was a sweetheart. Everybody knows his cousin Saul was awesome. His cousin Herod, hunting down and killing babies like the Pharaoh of Egypt to keep his legacy going and his greatness. I mean, no, Jesus didn't have any crappy people in his family tree whatsoever. He came from a bunch of saints. So you got to try to get across to people the Gospels, the history of the Gospels, and the understanding of the Gospels. And the Gospels are flesh, okay? And when you call people on their bullshit, okay, and you realize it's not based on reality, it's a story manipulated so reality will never be real again. Because when you understand the Gospels, because you're more a part of the living Gospels than you are a part of the people that use them to kill people over money, okay? So that was very interesting. They kept giving me Dwayne, and Rockefeller can't stand preachers. And so, but I'm like, there's something I like about this guy. He's got a lot of conviction, a lot of strength, big guy, big hands. Wouldn't want to mess with him. Yeah. My son's like that, real big, huge hands. Patrick's feet and hands are like ginormous. I had to sleep with him in the same bed till he was 9 years old because me and Patrick lived in a one-bedroom apartment paying child support for his mom to go to the lesbian bars and have all the liberals in the state of Arizona screw us over with economics to make me into an angry person. It didn't make me angry. It just made me feel sorry for the abuse inflicted on his mother and how it affected us. That's all it did. And I get angry. I don't stay angry. If you stay angry, you become the people that made you angry. If you get angry, you stop them, and then you get away from them and you go back to being you. And that's the best person to be is you, not an angry, jealous person that hates you because life's eternal and grace is infinite and they hate themselves. All right, y'all? Okay, I'm going to load this one up and we'll get back to work shortly. We'll see how everything's going. But y'all, you scientists need some help. And I'm help because I'm the way, the truth, and life, and I am the light and the way. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. I am Earl, the son of Ralph and Mary from the book of Revelation. Okay, peace.